Welcome everyone to the VLSAC General Council meeting. We're glad that you're here tonight. It looks like we have some new attendees and some returning attendees, which is great. So I'm really glad that you're here. We're going to be giving you just a brief little updates on what we're working on with the VLSAC, but actually have a pretty short meeting for you all tonight. We'll start here as just going over our agenda as that loads. Like I said, our meetings are really just to keep virtual students informed in what we're working on and just current events, things that are going on that we're holding, bringing on-campus events online, and just general news. We also want to make sure that virtual students have an opportunity to talk with us and make sure that their voices are heard, as we want to represent you well to, hack and work for you really. So with that being said, tonight, again, short meeting. I just wanted to give us an opportunity to go over current business. We don't have any discussions planned. So if there are things that maybe you wanted to chat with us about, we have some open time to do that. We're also not bringing any items to the table to have a general council vote tonight. So like I said, we'll breeze right through some different topics. And then to point out some of the dates that we were talking about at the bottom of the slide, at the end of March, that's a Thursday, I believe. So March 22nd on Harrisburg campus is the Business Club's Hack Tank event, and the VLSAC is going to be broadcasting this event on Zoom. So it will be available for virtual students to attend wherever they may be, and since they will get an opportunity to vote on I believe it's called Audience Choice from the different participants and presentations. It's just an awesome opportunity for virtual students to see the event and participate in the event in that way. The Day of Giving and silent auction is Virtual's way of participating in Day of Giving. That's going on April 16th through 18th. What we're doing is collecting donations to have offered on the silent auction, and the deadline to collect items and, gift certificates for car washes, things like that, would be April 2nd. All of the proceeds from the Day of Giving and the virtual silent auction go towards emergency assistance funds and the Hack Foundation scholarships, which the VLSAC has sponsored 2 different scholarships for virtual students specifically. So it's important that we have some different ways like this event to make sure some extra funds go into that account to continue helping virtual students in that way. And the last date on here that I wanted to make sure that everyone is aware of are we're having a comedian you probably are all aware of, Dave Coulier. You probably know him more from Full House as Joey. Is it Joey? I forget. Yes. I'm so sorry. Okay, it is Joey. All right, sorry. Not the show I typically watched when I was growing up. But anyway, so April 20th on the Harrisburg campus, he will be coming in to do some stand-up comedy for us, and there will be tickets on sale. The tickets will be on sale at the Welcome Centers on campus. So best way to get a hold of tickets is to see them. I believe they're only going to go on sale today or tomorrow. And I want to say I would do that pretty quickly because they're likely going to sell out. I believe the tickets are only $5, but it is going to be first come, first serve. So right before the meeting, I realized we weren't going to have a formal budget report. So I will kind of skip over item 2. But item 1 here with checking your Hawk Mail is just a reminder that to virtual students that there's a lot of things that have recently gone out to your Hawk Mail that you should be aware of. We sent out some surveys. We are taking student nominations for different award categories at our annual award ceremony to be held in May. So there's a survey there for you to recommend faculty, professors that you've worked with for star faculty, as well as any peers that you've met in your virtual classes that you found to be really helpful or to share good resources. Whatever you think makes them a virtual VIP, you should sign them up in the virtual VIP survey and nominate them for that award this year. That's a new category, and we're excited to have a student-nominated student award. Another thing that just recently went out from Virtual Learning News is the VLSAC Executive Council election packet. So this is going to give a lot of information on how you might apply to be a part of the Executive Council, which is who's holding the meeting tonight. So there are a few of us who are graduating at the end of the year and making some different decisions in our enrollment for the next coming year. So we have some open positions that are going to open up in May, and we're looking for people who would like to get involved. So check that in your email as well. And also in the same email are a couple other options or items that you're going to want to know about. So the scholarship cycle's open. There's links in there that will point you right in the right direction to sign in for your Hack Foundation scholarships and fill out the application for that. There's also a ton of resources that are linked really conveniently in the same email, so you don't want to miss out on, being pointed in the right direction if you ever have any questions. And additionally, there is a contest right now that gives students a chance to win a $100 Amazon gift card. And I believe it's also a good way for you to get one of those cool shirts that says Hack Yeah. There's a video that will show you how to do that that's linked in that email as well. So your Hawk Mail is where you're going to find a lot of news coming from us and virtual learning. So I just wanted to point out these particular things that I saw coming out in the last week since we've been away from break. Now, I know I'm breezing right through some things, so I want to give everyone who's attending a minute to, digest that, but also if you have any questions or if there was something else you wanted me to talk about on that, I can maybe elaborate a little more. By all means, let me know in the chat. And while you're doing that, I'm just going to take this time to point out some other things I forgot to add to our slide that are also some good things you might want to know about. So the VLSAC does a contest each semester for an Apple iPad, and we just unrolled that. And as virtual students, you'll see that that will be on our D2L page. So you want to scroll all the way down to your enrolled courses and find us at the bottom, alphabetically listed, VLSAC, and check the news item and in the Dropbox for information on how we're running a contest this year. It's a new game that we're playing, and we're excited to have rolled that out. But we are going to exclusively keep that to virtual students on D2L and on our own Facebook page. So at the end of the meeting, I will be posting a link to our new Facebook page so that you can stay in the loop on different ways to win or get another entry into a drawing for an Apple iPad.
If you don't mind, sorry, I got a notification on my laptop. It shocked me. Anyway, if you don't mind, I would just like to point out that if you are interested in joining the Executive Council once, obviously, some of us graduate. Obviously, you can't join right now because we're full, but you can email us.
We take volunteers, though.
Yes, we do. Good. Thank you for reminding me. You can email us at vlsac@hack.edu, which I will put in the chat, just as a reminder in case, you missed the packet or you accidentally delete an email, you can contact us.
Hey, thanks, Gracie. I appreciate you pointing that out. That's right. It's also really simple to find information about getting involved on our website, which is www.hack.edu/VLSAC. So that actually is another way to find information on what our positions are and what our kind of job roles are. So you can find that there, and we'll also post that in the chat. And we also saw in the chat, just a little reminder, the emails I've been referencing come from virtual learning. And the subject is usually Hack Virtual Learning Student News, and they go out typically every 2 weeks or so. So, okay, I'm going to skip over budget report and just kind of talk a little bit about marketing report for a little bit. So tonight our communications chair is traveling. She's actually on the West Coast, so she is not here tonight. But I just wanted to give a little update. Like I said, we did just move to a new Facebook page, which gives us a better visibility publicly on Facebook so students can find us and know what's going on. So I'm going to post a link into the chat, which is how you can reach out to us on Facebook. And also just know that we do post some things on there that are exclusive to virtual students. We don't post always ways like contest things and different trivia things that we're posting aren't always going to be posted on different groups. So if you are already in a group for for hack students, you may not get all the same news that we're posting unless you join our Facebook group. So we have seen a little bit of an increase in students reached through that, and we're excited to have an official page. I knew I was going to breeze through this stuff, and I know I talk really fast. So again, for everyone in attendance, like I said, these meetings are not just for us to, put a ton of information out there. I mean, they are, but also if you have things for us, we're all ears. We kind of planned to make a quick meeting of this tonight, but we still have time to listen to any suggestions, comments, and questions that you might have. Because we usually have a couple of different discussions at these meetings, things that we're hoping to bring to the table that we would like student feedback on. We just didn't want to do that right after spring break. So if there were things that you were thinking of talking about, by all means, we still have some time, but that was all that I prepared for the meeting tonight to kind of wrap this up pretty quickly. If this is your first time attending a VLSAC meeting, these usually do not get finished up in 15 minutes. But like I said, we did plan to have a short meeting right after spring break. And we're glad that everyone who came out tonight did. We are going to check our attendance, and new students that have just reached out and joined the meeting for the first time. You'll be getting an email from us in the next week as well, thanking you for participating tonight. I do feel very awkward being the only one talking, so if anyone does have any questions, let me know.
I would just like to point out, when we do mean discussions, it doesn't mean to be strictly for, say, the executive council positions or anything strictly limited to the bullet points we had earlier on the slides. It can be anything virtual related, whether it's a suggestion for a club, and suggestion for an improvement overall for virtual students, anything that we as an executive council can do to help you as a virtual student. Anything at all, just speak your mind. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, speaking of that, Gracie, you actually recapped a few of the discussions that we had in previous meetings. Do you mind maybe giving an idea of some of the topics that we talked about just briefly, since we have some time to go over that?
Of course. Is there any specific meeting you would like me to go over, or do you just want me to highlight some of the best parts of
I think when we got some student suggestions on guest speakers, that was a good one.
Okay. Let me find it. I
so
know.
For reference, we did have some guest speakers come out so far at these meetings. So far, we've had 2. And when I get caught up, there will be some recordings on D2L where you can catch up on when we just had research librarian Jennifer Hummel speak with us and go over all the virtual resources for students that the library provides to help you with your writing papers, all your MLA, APA formatting, and just really for every subject that you could be taking. They, how they made a LibGuide for it. So different resources like that she went over for us in a meeting. We'll be able to post that video to D2L here shortly.
Okay, I found my notes on guest speakers, and it looks like the main topic recommendation was, well, it could be for any HAC faculty member, or really it could even be a student the way it was given. It was on good study habits, specifically as a virtual student, because obviously since we're virtual students, we are not constantly surrounded by other classmates and professors telling us, hey, you have to get this homework done at this time, or this exam is on this day, you need to do it. Where as virtual students, we have to be very self-motivated and self-aware. And because of that, we can tend to, not exactly slack, but it's easier for us to forget things when we're not constantly reminded. So good study habits was one topic recommendation that we were given. And there was only mainly one topic recommendation, because it looks like on that meeting, during that same meeting, we had a very successful discussion on virtual clubs, which is something we're planning to start. Is that remind me, Corey, is that during fall 2018, I believe?
Really, yes and no. It's not I guess, closed right now. It's just a matter of we're still hashing out details on how that would work. But yeah, we had some students who were interested in creating a club that, pertains to their coursework, but they were all from technically different campuses, and they also took courses in this field online. So they were looking to kind of expand what clubs look like at HAC, and we were interested in joining that conversation and just exploring that as an opportunity. But in that meeting, Gracie, what were some of the things that came up there in discussion?
Um, One was non-traditional students, which is something really all virtual students are, in my opinion. We're all non-traditional. Some of us, like me, could be dual enrollment. Some of us are working full-time and somehow managing to balance college at the same time. Some people have families to take care of. Just a group really that's kind of almost like a support group, as I interpreted it, for non-traditional students. The next recommendation was women leadership, which, as you can tell, we're actually very strong on, considering the entire executive council is all female, which is a wonderful coincidence. If I do say so
Pure
myself.
coincidence, but
Yeah, pure coincidence. We're not discriminating against anyone. It just happened to be that way, which I think is great. And then the last suggestion was what I labeled as news verification. We were trying to figure out a name for it, and that's just the one I wrote, but basically learning how to watch mainstream news outlets like Fox, CNN, etc., and being able to tell, what is agenda, what is facts, and how do I want to word it? How to determine the differences between those two, and learn how to fact check for yourself when it comes to news, because obviously, no matter what your political opinions are, we can all agree that there is a very heavily pushed agenda with a lot of mainstream news sources, and we should learn that information for ourselves in the sense where it should be facts first and not agenda. So yeah, that was our last virtual club recommendation.
yeah, we definitely had some fairly productive conversations in previous meetings, and this is a space to continue different discussions like that. We just wanted to we have a lot of things right now that the Executive Council is working on in the background that they need to discuss tonight, so we wanted to get an early jump at that. So with that being said, I'll take more questions, or if anyone else has something along the same lines of what we were just kind of refreshing from previous meetings on, we would love to add to our notes because we have some new attendees here tonight. But also, as the conclusion of this meeting, what we're going to go discuss are things like the award ceremony and some different moving forwards, some of our Executive Council stuff. So really, we're just glad that you guys were able to make it out. And we, again, point you in the direction of the emails that were going out in your Hawk mail that will nominate faculty or student peers for awards this year in the award ceremony. But as far as I'm concerned, anybody have anything else before we adjourn? Like I said, easy breezy meeting tonight.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
We sure can.
Yeah.
Sorry. I wanted to know, do virtual SGA partner with other organizations?
So that's one thing that actually recently was talked about in the SGA Executive Council meeting, which the presidents and one or two other members of the SGAs all meet about once a month for SGA Executive Council meetings. And we just had one at the very end of February, and we're scheduled in 2 more weeks to have another one. And that was brought up then, just kind of talking about how SGAs get involved with each other, and then also with the different groups and clubs and things on their campuses. So as far as virtual is concerned, we're still kind of navigating that because the VLSAC as a virtual student government is still kind of new, or at least we're still building awareness that there is student representation on virtual for students at HAC. And additionally, we don't have, like I said, the clubs is new, so we're not representing, or excuse me, affiliating with clubs just yet because there aren't any. But our involvement as a virtual council is limited to helping virtual primarily. So in terms of campus clubs and different groups and things that are pretty much associated with the brick and mortar campuses, virtual's hands are a little tied, but there is an overlap. We do collaborate with the different SGAs across each campus. So if there were opportunities for us to do that, we would totally take advantage of it. And we're looking, like I said, to pursue, the virtual clubs and maybe putting something on our website that helps people ask us, like maybe a form or a survey that allows students to fill that out quickly and send that to us and let us know, like, is there something that we could help with? But yeah, that's kind of where we're at now. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
That's a great question. That's an awesome question. Thank you for asking that. Well, that's all we have. And the very last thing I would say is, Faith, welcome back to the States. Our vice chair for VLSAC was just recently traveling with the culinary program to Italy. She also was one of HAC's representative students at Knowledge Bowl. I don't know if I'm going to get this right, but this was a lot of colleges that competed against each other. Isn't that specifically culinary related? But at least two of the representatives from HAC this year were also virtual students, one of them being our vice chair, Faith. So great representation on her end, going down to North Carolina, and then we're glad that you're back from Italy, safe and sound.
Thank you, Corey. Very much appreciated. And just like a quick side note, I know I told Corey about this, but when I was traveling from Philly to London on the plane, I took, if anyone's familiar with our virtual Vince, if anyone is familiar with him, we used him a lot the last 2 semesters. He's like a little flat Stanley, but virtual Vince. I took him along with me because I wanted to get some pictures with him. TSA confiscated him and said that he could be used as a weapon. So they took him from me and threw him away. I guess it was because of the popsicle stick. I don't know. Maybe give someone a paper cut. I don't know, but I just had to share that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Our virtual Vince is literally like a 6-inch little paper guy on a popsicle stick that we take photos of. Oh, TSA.
I don't know. It was quite hysterical, but he's in the trash somewhere in
I wish
Philadelphia.
I wish you had gotten a selfie with him and the TSA agent.
The TSA agent looked pretty beastly, as in like very manly and husky. So I was like, you take him. You go right ahead. I got plenty more.
Well, maybe the TSA agent will enroll in some virtual classes in the future. He's been inspired.
I hope he was.
Feeling the virtual Vince love, so.
At least he made it to Philly, so.
That's awesome. That is really funny. We'll get you another virtual events. Well, thanks again, everyone, for attending, and new participants this evening. We really appreciate that you came out. We'll definitely have some more discussion topics and some news and information going on next week in our meeting. So just to recap, we do these meetings every Monday night at 7 p.m. Here at Zoom, the same link that you're using right now. And we appreciate that new students are coming out all the time to contribute to different discussions that we're having. So thanks again, everyone. We'll catch you next week.
Thanks.